Cue some ballpark sounds, the crowd taking their seats. The last big group to enter, being seated down the left field line. Looks like a busload, probably the fan club here in Wrigley. And good afternoon, everybody. It's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Spokane Steve here with you today. Unusual for a Saturday, as I did my family visit yesterday. A good time was had by all. Homemade enchiladas. It's a very good bottle of wine or two. And we'll get to the particulars of this ball game here today. It's the Philadelphia Phillies at the Chicago Cubs. April 30th, 1966. This, of course, is a day game, Saturday day game, about 4,500 in the park, give or take. And we've got two fine left-handers on the mound today, Chris Short for the Phillies and Ken Holtzman for the Cubs. Short, in real life, a 20-game winner in 66, 3.54. He was a workhorse, 39 starts, 272 innings. Holtzman, 11-16 with a 3.79 ERA, 33 starts, 221 innings. Nice hits allowed ratio. A little more of a strikeout pitcher than Short, but both pitchers could be dominating. And welcome Jack Brooks and Kenyon Gray. Jack is checking in from a warmer Long Island as it has reached 40, and he was suffering from Steve Aquilon withdrawal symptoms, but feeling a lot better now. Well, glad I could help, Jack. And Kenyon, welcome, sir. Visit was wonderful. Homemade enchiladas, several bottles of wine, and got to see I guess it's grandniece, is that what you would say? Sorry, your nephew's daughter. No, great niece. It's just a niece. I'd be the great uncle. I don't think it's grand anything, is it? It's great uncle and just niece. Just under 2.5 years old. That was the first time I got to see her. She was a delight. And I can't overstate it, really. And I'll get to the stats on these pitchers. What have they done in the replay so far? I'm sure you want to know. Short has 3 starts so far. He's 1-0 with a 2.96 ERA. He has 1 complete game. It was a shutout, so he's had 2 no decisions. In 24 1/3 innings, 21 hits allowed. For Holtzman, he's made 2 starts. He's been in 2 games, only 1 start. 0-1 with a 3.00 ERA, 9 innings of the season, and 8 starts. It looks like Holtzman started the season in the bullpen for Chicago. Although it doesn't have relief on his card. And normally I don't use him in relief if they don't have it on the card, but there was a game where he pitched in real life, and I used him accordingly. So I guess that's okay. And welcome Mike C. Mike also having withdrawals, and Mike is for the Phils. So the Phils come in 8-4. Cubs come in 3-11 in last place in the National League. So I guess that bodes well for the Phillies today. On the other hand, the Cubs are home, and with 2 fine left-handed starters on the mound, it could be anyone's ball game. Now I'll give you the lineups and we'll get underway today. For the Phillies, it will be Tony Taylor leading off at second base, Johnny Callison in right field. Dick Groat's playing third base today, a day off for Dick Allen. Groat will bat third. Harvey Keene is in left field. Bill White, the first baseman, in his usual 5 spot. Jackie Brandt is in center. Bobby Wine gets the start at short today, with Groat sliding over to third. Wine had only 89 at-bats that season, but he's a fine defensive shortstop, a 2 Bob Uecker, of course, is the catcher, and Chris Short on the mound batting ninth. For the Cubs, it will be Adolfo Phillips leading off in center field. Glenn Beckert at second base. Billy Williams in left field hits third. Ron Santo at third base in the cleanup spot, followed by Ernie Banks at first base. Byron Brown is in right field. Same lineup as the last Cub game, actually, except Stewart played second, giving Beckert a day off. Batting seventh will be Randy Hundley, the catcher. Don Kessinger, the shortstop, in the 8th spot, and Holtzman bats ninth. Franklin Long had made it today. Welcome, Franklin. And an accomplishment indeed, with all the rain in his neck of the woods. And the Cubs take the field. Beautiful afternoon here in Chicago. Great day for a ball game. Holtzman has completed his warm-ups as Tony Taylor stands in from the right side. Holtzman into the windup now. First pitch of the game to the right-hander is a 4-8 to the right-hander. A fly ball into right field. That's going to be playable for Brown. He puts it away, and we are underway. I'll tell you, as much as you guys, it's always good to be back to the dice after a day off. And Mike, I hear you. He's available to pinch hit, he says. Holtzman ready to work to Callison now, left on left. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-8 a 3-10 against the left-hander. That's a base hit right up the middle for Johnny Callison. Callison with a one-out single. He can run. He's a star 15. Holtzman a -3, however. Hundley a 0, so that would knock him down to a 1-12. They will not need to hold him on, and here's Dick Grote now. Grote comes into the game hitting .256, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. Holtzman from the stretch now. Pitch to Grote, a 5-3 to the right. He gets a ground ball to the pitcher X. That's Holtzman. He's a 2E26. And here's the roll on the play. Could be 2. 11, that's the error rating. That's a 9 on an E26. And he boots it. Oh my goodness, error Holtzman. And the Phillies have 2 on and 1 out. So another E1, a lot of pitcher errors in this season. Error Cubs. And here's Harvey Keene. Keene doesn't have many at-bats yet this season, but he's batting .400, 4 for 10. He's scored 4 runs, driven in 0. Holtzman gets his sign. Here's the pitch. It's a 3-8 against the lefty. He pops him up on the left side. Kessinger calling for it. Infield fly rule. That's 2 away. Oh, and I forgot something. I'll get to it, but I'll get to it in the half inning here. 2 down, 2 on. Here's Bill White. White comes in hitting .310 on the season, 4 home runs, and leads the team in RBIs with 16, which would place him among the league leaders. In fact, that might even lead the league. Let's take a look. No, that's second. Sorry, that's second in the league to Jimmy Wynn's 18. So White with 16 ribbies. First and second, 2 away. Holtzman from the stretch. And here's the pitch to White, a 2-7 against the lefty. He struck him out. Oh my goodness, some clutch pitching there by Holtzman. The Phillies leave 2 on 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. There was a scoring correction to Thursday's game. I went ahead and printed out the score sheet. That, of course, was Houston and Atlanta. I had it scored 7-3. Actually, the final was 8-3. And that's part of the beauty of inputting these games manually. There was a passed ball and pop-out here in the top of the 9th. I did not account for that run coming in. So a minor thing, for sure, it didn't affect anything, but, you know, it's an unearned run, for one thing. And that was charged to Clay Carroll. Carroll the loss, Owens the win. But just to bring you up to speed on that, did not affect the game any, but it sort of affects the stats. Sure it does, because somebody got a run scored on that who otherwise wouldn't have. And that was Strat-O-Matic scored on that. He was on first and took third on a 2-base error. At least I think that's how it went. I'm going from memory now. And Kenyon Grace, we'll have number 23 and 22. Yeah, how many did they play back then? It was, of course, there were no divisions. You know, that's a good question, Kenyon. I'm not exactly sure how to answer that. I don't really remember those days. I was 10 years old. I didn't get heavily into baseball. I got the baseball fever in the 1968 World Series. I was at a friend's house for the weekend. Him and his dad were both pulling for Detroit, so naturally I pulled for St. Louis. Yeah, I've been a contrarian all my life. What can I say? Maybe not as much now as when I was younger, but still. Oh, another interesting thing. I got to tell you guys about this. I got the new version of the Windows game yesterday, the 2023 season, okay? And some of you guys will remember this. I was complaining recently about why they have, among the league leaders, they had runs created per 27 outs and total average, and I don't have much use for total average, and I was saying, why? I wish they'd replace that with OPS. Well, guess what? In the new edition of the game, they did exactly that. So now we have OPS leaders. I can tell you that Dick Allen leads the league with a 1291. Jimmy Wynn second, Willie Stargell third, Willie McCovey fourth, Rico Cardi rounding out the top five. So that's kind of fun. A few other interesting little tweaks to the computer game. Oh, you mean a score? I get it now, Kenyon. I thought you meant they're going to play each other 23 or 22 more times. Yeah, I'm a little slow sometimes. The score, well, it's Wrigley Field, so, you know, anything's possible. And as Franklin pointed out, the wind has a lot to do with that. Wind blowing out, we could very well see a ball game like that. Here's Chris Short now. This is a marvelous card. Very nice card. And here's Phillips to lead it off for the Cubs. Phillips comes in batting .333, 6 for 18 since coming over from Philadelphia. These clubs made that big trade back on April 21st, I want to say. Phillips with 1 homer, 6 RBIs. Short gets the sign from Euchre now. Pitch to Adolfo Phillips is a 111. That's a grounder down to first base. Bill White has it. He says he'll take it himself, and there's one down. And here's Beckert now. Glenn Beckert comes in leading the Cubs in batting. He's hitting .404 this season. Can you believe that? 23 for 57. No home runs, but 5 RBIs. Short into the windup. Pitch to Beckert on a 4-10 against the righty. He gets a fly ball into left field. Playable for Harvey Keene. He's under it. 2 away. And that's going to bring up Billy Williams. Williams off to a slow start, batting .214. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. And those 2 home runs have come in his last 2 games. He had 0 prior to that. So Williams showing signs of heating up a bit, as he should with this card. Short into the windup now. The pitch to Billy, a 2-8. Comebacker. Short's got it. Over to White, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Short. 1-2-3 go the Cubs. We've played an inning, and we are scoreless. Oh, that's the Mike Schmidt home run game. Make it 23. Well, that would be interesting to know. Boy, if they scored 23 runs, I'd say there's a good chance of that being true. Top of the second, the Phillies will send up Jackie Brandt, Bobby Wine, and Bob Uecker. Holtzman gets the sign from Hundley now. Brandt comes in batting. Let's see if I can find Jackie Brandt here. Brandt's batting .310 so far on the season. No home runs, 4 RBIs. The left-hander winds and deals. It's a 3-9 against the lefty, a fly ball into left field. That's playable for Billy Williams. He's under it, 1 away. And here's Wine now. Wine getting a start at shortstop today. More notable for his glove than his bat. Wine comes in 2 for 8 on the young season. He has 1 run batted in. The pitch from Holtzman, a 1-8 single to 18. And how about that? Wine's got a base hit. I have to check now and see what he batted in real life that season. Only 89 at bats. He hit .236, .292 on base. Not a threat to steal. And here's Bob Uecker now. Uecker hitting .250 on the season. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Holtzman from the stretch. The pitch to Uecker is a 6-9, swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Bob Uecker on strikes. 2 away, it'll be the pitcher Short coming to bat. A right-handed batter, he's a 3W. Holtzman from the stretch now. It's a 1-9, and that's a base hit for Holtzman. Sorry, for Short. What am I saying? Holtzman's right there on the mound pitching, Steve. It's a base hit, open single to center. Wine can try to go to third on that. The center fielder is Phillips, a 0. Wine at 1 through 12. 2 outs, 1 to 14. No sense making the third out at third. And he will hold up at second. So a single by Chris Short. First and second, 2 away. And here's Tony Taylor again. Taylor flew out to right field his first time up. He came into the game batting just .189 on the season. 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. From the stretch, the pitch from Holtzman is a 5-7 triple to 1. That ball's going to hang up in center for Phillips. He's there to make the catch to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless. And catching up on the chat, Kenyon looked it up, and sure enough, Schmidt had 2 home runs in that 23-22 game. Kingman hit 3 for the Cubs. And who was managing the Phillies that year? Was that Ozark? At that time, I'm trying to guess now. I'm just wondering if any of the reporters asked him what he thought of Dave Kingman's performance. Some of you guys will get that, I know. And greetings and welcome to Bears Den. Go Cubs. Well, Bears Den, that makes sense. Chicago Bears fan too, I'm guessing, by the name. Short getting ready to work the bottom of the second. It's going to be Santo, Banks, and Brown for Chicago. Ron Santo comes into the game batting .313, 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Short with the windup. The pitch to Santo at 2-9 against the left-hander. He struck him out. And Bears Den confirms that it was Danny Ozark. I was at the game when Dave Kingman hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers, and they asked Tommy Lasorda what he thought of Dave Kingman's performance. That one, of course, is on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's quite entertaining. 1 out, and here's Ernie Banks now. Ernie comes in hitting 191 on the season, 1 home run, 4 RBI. So Banks off to kind of a slow start. He hit 272 that year with 15 home runs in real life. Short the windup, the pitch to Ernie, a 3-4 comebacker. Short has it, throws him out 2 away. So Short looking very sharp here in the early going, and here's Byron Brown now. Byron comes in batting only 147 so far. 1 home run, 3 RBI. It's Short the windup, pitch to Brown. 4-6 to the righty is a tapper down to shortstop. Bobby Wine has it, throws him out, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Short. We're through here too in Chicago, and there is no score. And I'm looking at the chat again now. Yeah, Bears Den, it certainly does. I have vivid memories of Schmidt wearing out the Cubs, especially in the early to mid 80s when I was working graveyard, and of course WGN, there was always a day game on. I caught a lot of them in that period. Holtzman ready to work in the third. It's going to be Callison, Grote, and Keene for the Phillies. Callison, I neglected to mention his stats the first time up. He came into this ball game. Where is Johnny Callison? Oh, wow, he's hitting 353 so far. 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 8 runs scored. Holtzman assigned from Hunter. Here's the windup and the pitch, a 6-5. That's going to be down, and that's down the right field line and into the corner. Brown chases it around. It rattles away from him. It rattles and bounces towards center field. Phillips to pick it up. Callison rounding, headed into third. The throw, he's in there with a leadoff triple. Holy crap, let's look at that again. 6-5. Triple to 17. On a 2, Callison is into third easily. And it's a leadoff triple for Johnny Callison, and that'll bring up Dick Grote. How are we going to play this now? 2 pitchers seeming to be on their games. They're going to bring the infield in. Yeah, I know it's only the 3rd inning. Infield in for Dick Grote. He's a B bunter as well. Full windup by Holtzman on the pitch on 111. Grounder to first base C with the infield in. The runner will hold as Beckert makes the play and throws him out. So nice job there. The infield in saved a run, and they'll keep it in for Keene. Keene popped out to short his first time up. Holtzman delivers. It's a 4-4 to the right-hander, and he walks him. Ball 4. So 1 out walk to Harvey Keene, and the Phillies have runners at the corners with a 1 out, and that will change things. Let's take a look at Bill White as he steps up to the plate. White does not hit into a lot of ground ball A's, so they're going to play the infield in. Infield will remain in for Bill White. Runners at the corners and 1 away. Holtzman in a jam now here in the 3rd inning. From the stretch, pitch to White, a 2-7. He struck him out. For the 2nd time today, Holtzman fans Bill White. Some clutch pitching by Holtzman. And there's 2 away for Jackie Brandt. Brandt flew to left his first time up. Infield back now. Outfield medium deep. Holtzman from the stretch. Pitch to Jackie, a 6-6 to the right-hander, and that's ripped into the gap for extra bases. That's going to be a 2-star double. Callison can walk home. Keene's into third and will hold there. One to nothing Phillies on the Jackie Brandt double. And here's Bobby Wine now. 2nd and 3rd, 2 down. Holtzman gets the sign, the windup, the pitch to Wine, a 1-9, a liner right into the glove of Glenn Beckert, and that will retire the side. L4 and the Phillies are retired. They do get a run on 2 hits and leave a pair. And we go to the bottom of the third. Phillies 1, Cubs nothing. Catching up on the chat again now. Here's Kurt Miller. Welcome, Kurt. And Rick DeBar. Welcome, Rick. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I seem to struggle with that or feel like I'm not saying it correctly, although I think I am. For yes, and absolutely, Kenyon, Cubs should be embarrassed at being 3-11 with 3 Hall of Famers in the lineup, and as Rick points out, 4 when Jenkins is on the mound. And Bears Den points out that 67 is when they started getting good. And by the time I was into baseball, that was a very good ball club. 69 through 72 or so. Short ready to work in the bottom of the third. It's going to be the bottom of the order for Chicago. That'll be Hundley, Kessinger, and Holtzman. Hundley comes in batting .286 on the season, 2 home runs, and he leads the club in RBIs with 10. How about that? Short the windup now. 5-10 to the right-hander is a grounder to shortstop X. That's Bobby Wine at 2E22. Wine into the hole. Here's the play. On a 19, he's got it, plants and throws across in time, 1 away. 6-3X Hundley retired. Yeah, 3 Hall of Famers, and Randy Hundley leads the club in runs batted in. His 2 home runs, tied with several for the club lead. Sano has 2, Williams has 2. Here's Kessinger. Kessinger comes in hitting .256, no home runs, 2 RBIs. Short into the windup. Pitch to Kessinger, a 6-9 to the right-hander. That's going to be down the left field line for extra bases. Keane over to pick it up. Kessinger rounding. He's in with a stand-up double. So Don Kessinger, a 1-out double. And here's Holtzman now. Holtzman, also a right-handed batter. And he is a one-hitter's card. Excuse me for that. Let me flip that over and correct that. 1W. Short the windup on the pitch on a 5-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Holtzman. Not all that surprising that Short would strike out a 1 pitcher's card. Now is it? So it'll be up to Adolfo Phillips now. 2 outs, man in scoring position. That's Kessinger taking his lead off second as Short comes set. The pitch to Phillips is a 5-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. And that will do it. 3rd K of the game for Short. No runs to hit, they leave a man. We're through 3 on a beautiful day in Wrigley, and it is Phillies 1, Cubs nothing. Just the kind of game we would expect from these 2 fine pitchers. Although it doesn't always go that way. There you go, Franklin. Who are the best players? That would be fun. Let's open that up to the floor. Who are the best players not to play in a postseason? Mike Trout comes to mind. It'll be Euchre, Short, and Taylor for the Phillies as we move to the top of the 4th. Holtzman ready to work now. He gets the sign from Hundley. Here's the windup and the pitch to Bob Euchre. A 1-12 against the left-hander. He pops him up on the left side. Kessinger calling for it. He's got it. 1 down. And here's Short now. Short, a right-handed batter, of course. 3W. That's a 610. Fly to center field X. That's going to be Phillips, a 3E9. Phillips ranges to his right. And here's the play. On a 6, he's not going to get that. That's down for a base hit. So a single to center for Short, who's 2 for 2. How about that? And Tony Taylor will be the batter. Holtzman from the stretch. The pitch to Taylor. A 6-11 to the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3. So Tony Taylor down on strikes. For Holtzman, his 4th K of the afternoon. And with 2 away, the batter will be Callison. Callison's 2 for 2 already today. A single, tripled, and scored in the 3rd. The only run of the ball game so far. Holtzman gets his sign now from the stretch. The pitch to Callison is a 5-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. So some dandy pitching by Holtzman as he fans Taylor and Callison after letting up the base hit to Short. No runs, a hit, 1 left for Philadelphia. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0. I'm going to check some of the chat now. See what you guys are coming up with here today. Sano bled Cubby Blue. Boy, he sure did. And yes, his number should have been retired sooner. Absolutely. Absolutely, Bears Den. I could not agree more. Banks holds the Major League record for games played without a playoff appearance. And what a shame that is. And George Sisler never played a postseason game. I did not know that. That's interesting. I'm familiar with several of Sisler's cards from the 365 online version of Strat-O-Matic. Short's ready to work now. It's going to be Beckert, Williams, and Sano for Chicago as they try to get off the deck here against Chris Short. Short the windup, pitch to Glenn Beckert. That's a 3-11 against the left-hander. It's a grounder down to shortstop. Bobby Wine has it. Throws him out 1 away. And here's Billy Williams now. Williams bounced back to the box his first time up. Short comes set now, the windup. Pitch to Billy. That's a 5-8 to the lefty. Pops him up on the right side. That's going to be Taylor calling for it. He's got it 2 down quickly in the 4th. And here's Ron Santo. The aforementioned Ron Santo struck out his first time against Short. Short into this windup now. Pitch to Sano, a 4-9 to the right. He gets a high fly ball deep to left field. Going back is key, and that's going to be off the wall. That's 2 bases for Sano. And Ron Santo in with a 2-out double. So Santo, whose ears were burning with everyone talking about him, he responds with a 2-out double. And that'll bring up Ernie. On a day like today, a beautiful afternoon in Chicago, Ernie would surely love to play too. Runner in scoring position and 2 down. Short, the pitch to Banks. That's going to be a 4-8 to the righty, and Banks responds with an RBI single. Almost a triple, 1-2. The roll is a 3. It's a 2-star single, and we got a tie ball game. So Ernie Banks comes through in the bottom of the 4th. We're all tied up at 1. And here's Byron Brown. Carew in the playoffs. I would guess 69, Baltimore, Minnesota, off the top of my head. Here's Brown with 2 away. Banks the first not being held. Short from the stretch. Pitch to Byron Brown is a 2-10 fly ball into left field, holding up for Harvey Keene. He makes the catch to retire the side, but the Cubs tie it up. A run on 2 hits, they leave a man. We're through 4 in a 1-1 ball game. And thank you for the confirmation, Franklin Long. '69, that was the first year I really got into baseball, as well as my first Strat-O-Matic card set. There's going to be Grote, Keene, and White for Philadelphia in the 5th. I still remember what Earl Weaver had to say about the playoff format, which of course began in 1969. And the Orioles won, I don't know, they won 100 games or more that year, right? 103, 109, I don't remember exactly, but Earl said, they asked him what he thought of the playoff format, and he didn't mince any words. He said, it's a bunch of bullshit. We won 100 and some games, and now I got to play the Twins in a best of 5. Oh, he was pissed. And look at what we have now. We're getting close to having half the league in the playoffs. Anyway, I digress. We got a good one here, 1-1 after 4. Grote, Keene, and White for the Phillies. Holtzman gets his sign from Hundley. Here's the windup and the pitch to Dick Grote. It's a 4-7 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Ken Holtzman. Here's Harvey now. Harvey Keene 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's the windup and the pitch from Holtzman. It's a 2-7 against the lefty. Keene has a base hit up the middle. So a 1-out single for Keene. And that'll bring up Bill White. Holtzman has struck White out both times today. Left on left from the stretch. Here's Holtzman's pitch. It's a 4-8 fly ball into left field, playable for Billy Williams. He's under it now and makes the catch 2 away. And it'll be up to Jackie Brandt. Brandt 1 for 2 with a double. Holtzman getting his sign. A 5-11 to the right-hander is a grounder to first base X. That'll be Banks. A 3E13 down there. And here's the roll on the play. On a 19, Banks has it. Nice stop, turns, and underhands the Holtzman covering. And that'll do it for the Phillies in the 5th. No runs to hit, they leave 1. Oh, and Kurt Miller, absolutely, yes. Kurt Miller relaying some of the events from the great Rock and Roll Circus cover show. And that was, oh geez, I want to think, because I took a day off, so my clock's all screwed up now, my body clock. Was that Friday night or Thursday night, Kurt? And they did the Stones tunes, Respectable, Parachute Woman, Sympathy for the Devil, Painted Black, Midnight Rambler, Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Salt of the Earth. So they threw in a later song there, Respectable, of course, which hadn't even been thought of yet when the original circus took place. Hell of a set list, though. And they did a good job, I'm assuming. I'm thinking that must have been a hell of a show, Kurt. So I have to ask, who did the Toll songs? Bottom of the order for the Cubs at the bottom of the 5th. That's Hundley, Kessinger, Holtzman. Same 3 as it was in the bottom of the 3rd leading off. Short set now, the windup. The pitch to Hundley is a 2-8 Tapper down to third base. That's going to be Grote. He's got it. Throws him out, one away. And here's Don Kessinger. Switch hitter, batting right-handed. Short the windup. Pitch to Don, a 1-11. He's got a base hit into left field. So Kessinger aboard with a sharply hit single. He's 2 for 2. Star 15. 0 for short, +1 for Euchre would make him a 16. He'll have to be held on at 1 through 14. And with the pitcher up, he's going to try for the lead. He needs a 2 through 6 or a 12. 11, he does not establish the lead. And now how are we going to play it with Holtzman? Holtzman, an A bunter. I'll roll the dice for enter back. 1-3, it's in, it is back. He's an A, he's going to lay it down. That's a 7 on an A. Successful sacrifice bunt by Holtzman. That'll push Kessinger to second. So Kessinger in scoring position with 2 down. It'll be up to Adolfo Phillips. Phillips 0 for 2 today, but he's been swinging a hot bat since coming over for the Phillies in the big Ferguson-Jenkins trade. Short into the windup. Pitch to Phillips, a 6-8 to the righty. Single to 16 on an 11. That's going to be a base hit. Past the first baseman, White. Taylor was backing it up, though, so Kessinger will have to hold at third. Oh, I got my colors mixed up there. Now the Cubs have runners at the corners here, 2 away. Bottom of the 5th, it's up to Glenn Beckert. Beckert, of course, came into the game leading the Cubs in batting at .404. Trying to pick one up here. He's 0 for 2 against Short so far today. Short from the stretch. The pitch to Beckert on a 1-6. Base hit into right field. RBI single, Beckert. Phillips can try to go to third on that. Kessinger will score. Right field is Callison with a -4 gun, however. Phillips 16 to third, 18, -4, 14. He's going, and the Phillies are going to cut it off. Keep Beckert at first base. So an RBI single for Beckert. Phillips into third. And here comes Billy Williams. And boy, wouldn't the Cubs love for Billy Williams to get untracked. What a difference that would make. Williams came in batting .214 so far this season. He's 0 for 2 today. Short from the stretch. Pitch to Billy Williams on a 1-6. He struck him out. And Williams' woes continue as that retires the side. The Cubs, however, do take the lead. A run on 3 hits, and they leave a pair. We're through 5, and it's Chicago 2, Philadelphia 1. What a great ball game so far. I'm going to take a moment to catch up on the chat. Luke Appling was never in the postseason. That's right, Kurt. You told me that once before. Gino T and his dumpster machine. A Song for Jeffrey. Aqualung and Locomotive Breath. And welcome Jimmy Jam and Jimmy's for the Cubs. And really Bears Den, Jim Bunting. Are you saying Bunting was never in the postseason? Another Hall of Famer. Holtzman getting ready to go to work in the 6th. Bottom of the order for the Phillies. That's Wyan, Euchre, and Short. Wow, Jim Bunting. I did not know that either. You got a close but no cigar, right? 1964, I want to say. Was 64 the year of the Great Collapse? Here's Wine to lead things off now. Ken Holtzman ready to work. He's got a 2-1 lead now. The windup and the pitch to Wine on a 4-9 is a tapper to shortstop X. That's going to be Kessinger, a 2E40. Kessinger into the hole, and here's the play. On an 11, that will be the error rating. That's a 10 on a 40, and he makes a fine play to throw him out. Nice play, Don Kessinger. Oh my goodness, I was almost certain that was going to be an error. And here's Bob Uecker now, 0 for 2 today. Uecker, a big grin on his face as he says something to Hundley as he steps in. Now he's ready. Holtzman's ready. Here's the windup and the pitch to Uecker. It's a 6-8 to the righty, and he walks him, ball 4. So a 1-out walk to Uecker. And here's Short. Let's check Short's bunting rating. He's a D. He's going to swing away. He's a 3W, right-handed batter. From the stretch, pitch to Short, who's 2 for 2 today. A 5-6 is swung on and missed strike 3. 2 down, Short erased on strikes. It'll be up to Tony Taylor now. As Holtzman is set and from the stretch, pitch to Taylor. It's a 4-6 to the right-hander. Pops him up left side. Kessinger calling for it. Infield fly rule. Retires the side. No runs, no hits, a man left. 5.5 innings in the books. It's 2-1 Cubs. Weather warming up nicely here on a Saturday afternoon in Wrigley. Yes, Franklin, it's before mine as well, but I remember reading about it. When I first got into baseball, I'd go to the Laguna Library and the high school library. I would check out any book that had anything to do with baseball. And that's where I'm sure I learned about 1964. And since then, you'll hear announcers mention it anytime managers decide to pitch a starting pitcher on short rest in the postseason. They tend to bring up what Mock did that year and how it can backfire. And I agree, it never seems to work. It's going to be Santo, Banks, and Brown for the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th. They lead the ball game 2-1. Short ready to work now, the windup. The pitch to Santo is a 3-9, and he draws the walk. So a leadoff walk to Ron Santo. And here's Ernie Banks. Banks 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 4th. And how about that? Kenyon saw Bunting pitch a perfect game on Father's Day at Shea. What a thrill that must have been. Holy cow. I've never witnessed a no-hitter live, much less a perfecto. I have to take a minute and let my brain absorb that. Yeah, and you'd never forget that. That's for damn sure. Stano taking his lead off at first. A Short comes set from the stretch. The pitch to Ernie Banks is a 5-7. It's a grounder to second base X. That could be 2. It's Taylor. Tony Taylor, a 3E11. Here's the play on a 9. That's the error rating. It's a 12 on an E11. Oh my God, that is a double play. Taylor to Wine to first, and that will do it. (4-6-3-X) erases the runner with 2 down. Byron Brown will be the batter. So a fine double play turned by Tony Taylor. Now it's Byron Brown standing in. The righty's 0 for 2 today. Short into the windup. Here's the pitch to Brown. It's a 2-7. Single to 6 on a 2. That's going to be down for a base hit. So Byron Brown, a 2-out single here. And Randy Hundley will get a shot. Hundley 0 for 2 so far. Short from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Hundley now. It's a 5-9 to the righty. It's a grounder to shortstop X. That'll be Bobby Wine. 2E22. Moves to his left. Here's the play. It's a 7. He's got it. He'll flip that the short way to Taylor, and that's it. 6-4X, the side is retired. No runs to hit, they leave 1. We've completed 6. It's Cubs 2, Phillies 1. And it's a nail-biting time as we move into the 7th. And I'm going to have to take a short break at the stretch. Use the facilities and grab another cup. Oh, I'll bet they were, Kenyon. That's awesome. Yeah, the home crowd was rooting for him by the 9th. Phillies trail by 1 here in the 7th. Holtzman and Short both very much on their games here today. And it will be Callison, Grote, and Keane for the Phillies. Here's Callison now. Johnny's 2 for 3, left on left, the windup and the pitch, a 4-4, fly ball to center and shallow. Here comes Phillips, still coming, shoestrings it in center, 1 down. And here's Grote now. Dick Grote, 0 for 3 today. Holtzman gets the side from Hundley. The windup of the pitch is a 1-11. It's a tapper down to first base. Ernie Banks has it. He says he'll take it himself. And quickly there are 2 away in the 7th. And here's Harvey. Keane 1 for 2 with a walk. Holtzman into the windup now. Pitch to Harvey Keane on a 1-9, fly into left field. It's playable for Billy Williams. Settles under it now, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Ken Holtzman. We've played 6.5. We're at the stretch in a 2-1 ball game. And I will return post haste. And we're back. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. And Mike C. points out that Brown later played for the Phillies. Seemed to be quite a few trades between those two teams in that time period. And Kurt Miller mentions that singer Jill Jack covered As Tears Go By and Sister Morphine last night at the Magic Bag in Ferndale, Michigan. Franklin saw Fernando Valenzuela's no-no on TV at a bar in New Jersey. The same day that David Stewart pitched one earlier. I saw the Ramon Martinez one at a bar in Las Vegas. Short ready to work here in the bottom of the seventh. It will be Kessinger, the pitcher's spot, and Phillips. Don Kessinger's 2 for 2 so far today, a double and a single. Short gets the sign from Euchre now. Here's the windup on the pitch to Kessinger. It's a 5-7 to the righty. A grounder to second base X. That will be Taylor. Tony Taylor, a 3-E11. Here's the play on a 3. He's not going to get that. It's a base hit, and Kessinger's 3 for 3. And that'll make the manager's job a little easier. Holtzman an A. They'll definitely be in, making him a B, and he's going to lay it down anyway. A B bunter. Holtzman lays it down. It's a 9. And successful sacrifice bunt for Holtzman, his second of the afternoon. That'll move Kessinger into scoring position. Adolfo Phillips will come to bat. Glenn Beckert on deck. Beckert gave the Cubs the lead in the fifth with his RBI single. Short an S8 for endurance. So this is not even an endurance inning for Short. Phillips standing in now from the right side. Short gets his sign. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's a 4-8 to the righty. That's going to be an RBI single for Phillips. It's a triple to 2 on a 7. It's a 2-star single. Kessinger will score. The sacrifice bunt pays off, and it's 3-1 Cubs. Kessinger, his second run scored of the day. Phillips with great speed, a star 17. 18 with the hold combo of Short and Euchre helped to be held on, making him a 16, and he's going to try for that lead. He needs 3 through 7. 6, he's going. The pitch to Beckert. There goes Phillips. Euchre's throw, 1-16. Oh my goodness, on a 16, he's just safe. It's a stolen base, Phillips. So Adolfo Phillips is his third stolen base of the season. There seems to be action now in the Phillies' pen. Rick Wise, the right-hander, Darrell Knowles, the lefty down there. And here's Billy Williams. No. Short's next pitch to Beckert. A 5-6 grounder to third base. Grode has it. Runner will hold as he throws him out. I almost screwed that one up. With 2 outs, now Billy Williams will be the batter. Left on left now. Rick Wise is ready. Short taking his time. Now shakes one off, now nodding. The windup, the pitch to Billy Williams. A 2-10, ball 4, he walks him. So a 2-out walk to Billy Williams. First and second, 2 down. And now Euchre is going out to the mound. Ron Santo due up. Short says he's fine. He's going to pitch to him. First and second, 2 away. Here's the pitch to Ron Santo. On a 2-7, it's a tapper down to shortstop. Wine has it. He'll go the short way to Taylor, and that will retire the side, but not before the Cubs tack on an insurance run. On 2 hits, they leave 2. We've played 7 at Wrigley. It's Cubs 3, Phillies 1. And what a game by Holtzman. Holtzman in S7 for endurance. He's going to come out for the 8th. And let's check the Cubs defensively now. Brown due to bat second in the 8th. They'll stay the way they are for the time being. That's awesome, Kenyon. Euchre's throw to the bag just a bit outside. It'll be White, Brandt, and Wine for the Phillies here. Holtzman throwing a gem. He hasn't allowed a hit since the 5th. Left on left now as he goes into his windup. The pitch is a 4-8 fly to left field. That's going to be playable for Keene. And White is retired. Sorry, playable for Williams. What am I saying? I beg your pardon. 4-8 fly to left. Billy Williams under it, 1 down. And here's Jackie Brandt, 1 for 3 today, a double. Here's the pitch from Holtzman. The 4-5 to the right-hander is a tapper to shortstop. Kessinger has it. Routine play for Kessinger, quickly 2 away in the 8th. And Holtzman now 4 outs away from a complete game victory here. And here's Bobby Wine, the shortstop, 1 for 3 today. Holtzman under the windup. The pitch to Wine, a 1-5. That's a double to 3 on a 20. He'll settle for a long single. So Bobby Wine's 2 for 4 in what I think is his first start of the season. And Bob Euchre will be the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Holtzman getting the sign from Hundley. From the stretch now. Pitch to Euchre on a 3-9, a tapper down to second. Beckert has it. Over to Banks. Side retired. No runs to hit, 1 left. And what a game by Ken Holtzman. Boy, and you said it, Kenyon. We had a gem by Sadecki, Johnson, now Holtzman. And let's not forget the 1-hitter by Juan Marichal. Holy cow, he faced the minimum. Here's Short in what will be his last inning of work. He's due to lead off in the 9th. And it will be Banks, Brown, and Hundley due up for the Cubs. They lead at 3-1 here. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Short the sign from Euchre. Now the windup. The pitch to Ernie Banks. A 1-6 tapper down to third base. Dick Grote has it. Throws him out, 1 down. And here's Byron Brown now. Brown 1 for 3 today. Short into his windup. The pitch to Brown, a 3-4, swung on and missed strike 3. Brown down on strikes, 2 away quickly, and the batter will be Hundley. Randy Hundley 0 for 3 today. Short gets the sign from Euchre. Here's the pitch to Hundley. It's a 2-8 tapper down to third base. That's going to be Grote again. He's got it. Throws to White in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Short. We've completed 8 in Wrigley. It's 3-1 Cubs. And now they will remove Brown from the game. Ty Klein will come on for defensive purposes. In right field, Klein 2E10 with a +1. But the story right now is Ken Holtzman. 3-1 Chicago as we go to the 9th. We'll have a pinch hitter for Short, followed by Tony Taylor and Johnny Callison. They used Gonzalez and Clemens in real life. Probably prefer to have a right-handed batter here. That's going to be Cookie Rojas coming off the bench. Cookie on the season so far, hitting just .209, 9 for 43, no homers, 2 RBIs. And he'll lead things off here in the 9th. Holtzman looking to finish it out here. Rojas standing in from the right side. Holtzman the windup. The pitch to Cookie Rojas. That's a 3-5 against the lefty. That's going to be down for a single into left field. Williams over to pick it up. Rojas will round and hold it first for the leadoff single. Now we've got some activity down in the Cubs pen. The closer, Ted Abernathy, loosens. Rojas not a threat to run. It's funny, I seem to remember Rojas a little quicker than a 1-12. Of course, I'm thinking of Rojas with Kansas City a little later on. This might have been his first year. I kind of don't think so, but let's take a look. No, he came up in 1962 with Cincinnati and then went to the Phillies. Didn't play much in 62 or 63. Started getting some good playing time with the Phillies in 1964. So here's Taylor now. And yes, Jack, the wind was blowing in today. Holtzman trying to finish it. We've seen this so many times. Here's Taylor, 0 for 4 today. From the stretch now. Here's Holtzman's pitch on a 4-6. He pops him up on the left side. Kessinger under it. Infield fly. 1 away. And here's Callison. Callison 2 for 4. Rojas taking a modest lead. Holtzman gets the sign from Hundley. From the stretch. The pitch to Johnny Callison at 2-6. That's a grounder to shortstop. Hundley, Kessinger has it to Beckert, and that's all they'll get. It's a force play. Rojas forced. Callison to first. He's a star 15. Holtzman a -3. No need to hold him on. He'd be a 1-12, and he's not the tying run anyway. It's all up to Dick Grote. 2 down, a runner on first. 3-1 Cubs here in the 9th inning. Holtzman from the stretch. The pitch to Grote is a 3-8. It's a comebacker. Holtzman's got it. Takes a couple steps towards first, tosses it to Banks, and that's the ball game. No runs, a hit, 1 left. And the Cubs get into the W column here on a beautiful day in Chicago. 3-1 is the final. What a game by Holtzman. Complete games for both starting pitchers. Holtzman with the win squares his record at 1-1. Short with the loss drops to 1-1. Holtzman allowed 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. He walked only 2. Struck out 4, 5, 6. 6 Ks. Only 1 run. Short allowed 6, 7, 8, 9 hits in his 8 innings of work. He also walked a pair and struck out 5. 3 runs allowed. All earned. So your finals are for the Cubs: 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Phillies, 1 run, 8 hits, no errors. And thank you guys. And Kurt says, Chief Spokane Gary Player of the Game, Don Kessinger. He was 3 for 3. Why not? I'm going to award 2 players Player of the Game today, actually. He's going to share the honors with Ken Holtzman. So Don Kessinger and Ken Holtzman, your Chief Spokane Gary, Players of the Game. And thank you, Kenyon. Thanks to all of you guys. And I remember that story, Bears Den, about what DeRocher said. This is no 10th place team, and they finished 12th in 66. Yeah, I think you speak for all of us there, Bears Den, when you say, I love Strat-O-Matic. What a ball game here at Wrigley. Our next game, I might come back this evening. It's still early in the day. I have really nothing to do. If not, this will be the tomorrow 1 o'clock game. It's going to be the Baltimore Orioles at the Detroit Tigers. And holy cow, you want to talk about a marquee pitching matchup. We've got Dave McNally for the Orioles, Denny McLain for the Tigers. So I'll have to see how I feel after lunch here. A late lunch for me in Spokane. And that's the final here. The Cubs edge the Phillies 3-1 in a pitcher's duel here. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me this afternoon. Kenyon, Jack Brooks, Bears Den, Kurt Miller, Franklin Long, of course. Anyone I may have forgotten, I apologize. Well, I'm going to have something to eat, gentlemen, so I thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great Saturday evening. Take care, guys.